I returned to Kentucky in 1981, and the state of the beef industry was such that, to be honest with you, we needed help.
There just wasn't a lot of emphasis on the beef industry in the state, and certainly not as much emphasis on the efficiencies and the quality that we have today. Along that same line, the reputation of Kentucky cattle was bad, to say the least. It was a bad reputation.
On a trip to Texas, I visited with beef cattle specialists. I asked the question, I said, why don't you folks feed any Kentucky cattle? And he said, well, Kentucky calves are just straight bred, small frame calves that always get sick, and said the heifers must be born pregnant.
We were at a disadvantage when it came to marketing our cattle because of the reputation we had in the western feedlots.
We've always been a feeder calf producing state. Largest east of the Mississippi. We've been proud of that. We had more purebred herds than probably any other state in the Union. Not big ones, but a lot of them. But we never did a good job. We generally blamed it on dependence on tobacco income, and we just couldn't get people to change.
Our beef industry in Kentucky really was a second thought or afterthought to the tobacco industry. Being a former tobacco producer, I can certainly verify that.
We needed better genetics. We needed healthier calves. And we needed a market. We needed a better market.
Well, from the ag development funding, I guess I look at three things that have had the most impact. Number one, the genetic improvement program. That has where the quality has increased and where the quality has come from that we see today. It has provided producers like myself with the opportunity to go out and get a bull that's going to improve what I'm producing. And that is evident, and it has become more evident as time went by. And what we see now as far as genetic improvement of our calves and calf quality is just tremendous.
The beef cattle were here, the cows were. People were here that wanted to raise cattle. So there's a lot of interest in producing breeding stock. And with some guidance and in truth some incentive to buy those bulls, it powered up the market and I think improved the genetics in no small way.
The second thing, our Master Cattleman program, that educational program that we had. KBN, the Kentucky Beef Network, which was funded through the original Ag Development Funding programs, working in conjunction with the University of Kentucky, created that Master Cattleman program.
Lack of education wouldn't be a problem, but we would have the best educated beef producers in Kentucky that were anywhere in the United States. They would be right here. We would go out and teach sessions, and we would have a Master Cattleman program. I remember sitting in the back of a room one time with Charles Miller, and we were talking about that concept, that's people probably are always your best resource.
The basic tenet behind that program was that we could have a core group of equally trained professionals to foster the beef industry here in the state. And I think we've done that.
It was and still is an intense program. And we thought if we had 40,000 beef producers, if we could just get 10% of them.
We were interested in reaching a good, solid core group that their neighbors could look to and see that they were doing things in a different way, in an improved way, and things were really getting better. So I think that the Master Cattleman program has done that. Thirdly, the infrastructure programs that the Ag Development Board has funded to create more efficiencies in our production, to create safety in our production, all of these things combined.
You know, the first thing I did when I met here, I met with one of our good supporters, and he had his corral was out in the middle of a cornfield. There wasn't a fence within a half a mile of it.
We now have people with weaning lots and bull holding lots and things we never had before, and working facilities where on any given day you can get calves or cows in there and work those things and not have a chance of getting killed in the process.
And I know the first year, Grayson County did close to 100 remodels or buildings of cattle handling facilities. So that was big. That was big.
I have used a lot of the programs on our farms. We have had the opportunity to build working facilities and renovate working facilities in our operation, and we have been able to wean calves more effectively, and we've been able to keep our bulls away from the herd till the breeding time, and thereby, condense that calving season like it should be. And so the things that I have gained as a producer are countless, and they have helped us tremendously over the last 20 years.
All the folks cared a lot about this industry. And I think the only reason it worked is because we got together. When I say we, that's a collective we. We had a relationship with the producers, with the Kentucky Cattlemen's Association, with the University of Kentucky, and with industry.
And it came at a time, going back again to that changing that tobacco mindset in this state, it came at a time to where we had to do something. And we had to make a change, and we had to put more emphasis on those cows that were out there that had always been there, but now we had to really think about that.
And once we kicked the crutch of being dependent on tobacco income from us, we moved ahead, and we moved rather quickly. And if you look at what the industry looks like now, or if you look at what the cattle look like now, it's a whole lot different than it was in 1995 and then later in 2004, because most people feed their own family the beef, and it has to be good enough for your grandkids, and it is.
The reputation of Kentucky cattle now as compared to where it was when I talked about 20, 25 years ago is well, it's beyond belief. They're in demand, we'll put it that way.
Kentucky cattlemen walk with a little more pride now, a little bit more swagger than they used to. And when farmers go out and show you their cattle with pride, it means something. It means something. We can look those people in the eye out west and say, our cattle are as good as anybody's and better than most.
As this industry has evolved through the help of the Ag Development Fund in the last 20 years, we're now seeing more marketing opportunities. I think if we look forward in our industry here in the state and the relationship that the industry has and has had with the Ag Development Board, they have created quite a foundation. Through their help, we have created quite a foundation. That's not to say we're done.
I would hope that we continue to support this industry, and I would hope that everybody continues to appreciate this industry.
We've done well. You've really helped us to get here at the top of the peak. But golly, don't forget about us now, because we've got a long way to go, and we've got a tremendous amount of opportunity out here that we can take advantage of, but we have to continue to have that help. And I, as a producer, I want to thank the Ag Development Board, because their commitment to our industry in this state has made it possible for us to achieve what we are and where we are, not only in this state, but in the Southeast region and across the nation. We're looked to as an innovator, as a leader, and all of those things would not have been possible without the Ag Development funding and without the commitment and influence that the Ag Development Board over the years has had on our industry.
I know Kentucky has benefited from the Ag Development Program.